You got 2 jobs at the same time. Working McDonald's and then Mitchell's at the same time. So 2 jobs for years. I did that for years.
Yeah.
And so no complaint. I had to do it.
Yeah.
I had to do it. And for me, it was like I said, I'm used to hardship in life. That's not hard for me. Catching the bus 3 o'clock in the morning is not hard.
Wow.
You know, sometimes if I miss the bus, I sleep on the bus stop.
Yeah.
You wait for the sun to come out and go back again the next day. So that happened a lot of times because, you know, remember 14 doesn't run all the time, right? If you miss 14 a certain time, it's over.
Yeah.
So that's life for me back then.
Yeah.
But for me, that's normal. I never said like, oh, I didn't say, oh, this is so hard. I never complained.
Right.
For me, that's like normal. That's life.
Yeah. And you know, I come from a restaurant background, and I started in my early 20s, and to make a living in a restaurant, it's hard. Like, you have to work 2 jobs. A lot of guys that I worked with worked 2 jobs. And I got a taste of what it was like to work 2 jobs too, and having to sleep in my car. And it's hard, but I look back on it now, and it's, you know, hardship when you're going through it. It's tough, but you know, it is like a badge of honor. And
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
when you said that. It is. How I wish everybody would feel that way.
Right. It's not something that you would maybe brag about to people, but knowing in your own heart that you've put yourself through that and got through it, you know?
It makes you tougher. As a matter of fact, I wish some people can experience that and pull it through. Because in a way, it's a privilege to get into that situation.
Yeah.
To be in there. Because if you make it, if you pull it through, man, you be ready to face the world no matter what throws at you.
Yeah.
You'll be prepared to deal with it.
And so you started here at Mitchell's. What was your position?
I was hired as a cone man.
A cone man.
Yeah. They call the scooper, the cone man.
Yeah.
The scooper.
Okay.
And honestly speaking, when I started, I think they're way busier than now. Because then it was like hours and hours and hours of line, nonstop. It's just nonstop. I remember Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesday, no matter what day it was back then, there's always a long line. No air conditioning back then, so you could just imagine it's like an oven working there. But like I said, we just work, no complaint.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to do it, just work.
Yeah.
Right? I always listen to my supervisors. I respect them. They, you know, I didn't speak to anyone much because I so shy in my language. I couldn't carry a conversation back then. I'm so shy and scared. As a matter of fact, scared is the word, because I couldn't carry a conversation.
Wow.
And I think there's only 1 or 2 Filipinos during that time.
Working with you?
Yeah, working with me. And that guy was born here, so he showed me a little bit. He showed me up a little bit. He helped me out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't forget those people that kind of welcome you or kind of nurture you in a way.
Yeah.
I felt like the outcast because, you know, like I said, I got the accent.
Yeah.
And I know they're laughing at me because they're making fun of me. I know that. I can remember that now, what they're making fun, because they're trying to tell me something and I didn't respond the way it's supposed to be responded.
Right.
That's because I didn't understand. And I overheard them, you know, making jokes and things like that. So
Did you ever lash out at somebody because of that? Did you ever eventually get fed up?
no, I felt like it is what it is, you know. It didn't come to the point where they embarrassed me in front of the people.
Sure.
But it was just, you know, behind me I can see and hear them making fun of me. I was such a hard worker anyways. I think it kind of balanced it out. Hey, that guy works. You tell me to wash cans, I'll wash cans all day if you want me to. I'll sweep the floor all day, never complain. I'll scoop 10,000 scoops a day, have no complaint.
Right.
Yeah, so that kind of outweighs my my accent, my disadvantage.
Right.
And it was, the Mitchells are very respectful of me anyways. So for me, that's a big deal. I don't care what other people think, but as long as the Mitchells treat me like, hey, you're as important as like everybody else to me.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of that one.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. I hold on to that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Mitchells I sensed it from the get-go, especially the old man.
Yeah.
I sensed it. They know when you are there to work. They put a spotlight on you and they treat you just like everybody else, even though the disadvantages that I have because of my language barrier didn't matter to them. They
Yeah.
look at me like, this guy's a hard worker. He works. So, salute to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to ask you is, there's a difference between, I have cousins that came from the Philippines not too long ago. And I noticed that when they find a job, they stick to it and they work hard, Whereas us who were born here, if we don't like someplace, we just leave. It's kind of like, I admire that about not just Filipinos, but any immigrant. My dad went through the same thing too. You just have to work hard. And so where most people move on and find something better, you talked about the Mitchells treating you well here. What else was it that kept you here?
I think you said it right. I grew up hearing from people from the neighborhood, from even in the culture, Filipino culture. I know this very clearly. We're just happy to have a job back home. And I clearly remember all that, because when I go to my neighbors, their dads working for a company for years and years and years and years. Same from day one up to retired. I know that, and that's almost everybody that I know of. So having a job is already a blessing. So I had that in mind. You're just lucky to have a job. So back home, the job is so scarce, it's hard to find a job. So when you get one, you hold on to it.
Yeah.
Whatever you can. And I think I still have that in me, that just thankful to get a job. Plus you get treated like that by the Mitchells, so you got some additional bonus right there. So I hold on, just I wasn't the best of the employee, but I'd say I work hard.
Yeah.
And they see that. There's a lot of better people than me, but I work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been in the restaurant industry for about 15 years. Like I said, I started in my early 20s, and I've rarely seen Filipinos in leadership roles. Even me, myself, I was thinking, what kind of, white people own the restaurant that I worked at? It was a fancy restaurant, and I was like, why would they give me their money to manage for them? Like, I'm going to work hard, but why would they do that for me? To put me in a leadership role. And so I started my own business, and I know a lot of Filipinos start their own businesses aside, or leave their jobs to start their own businesses, right? So and you're a leadership, you're in a leadership role now, correct? You're the GM.
I was promoted to be a supervisor. So that's years, and I was promoted into assistant manager. And then promoted as the
Wow.
the manager.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna be promoted as the owner.
Wow.
Mitchells.
Whoa, congratulations.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. In years from now,
Okay.
maybe a few years, my wife and I will be the proud owner of the Mitchells.
Gosh.
Can you imagine
Whoa.
that?
Whoa.
I won't be shy to say that now, because it is what it is.
Yeah,
the whole world will find out anyways. And at first, I said I don't want people to know. I just want to keep it low profile. But eventually, later on, this few weeks, that few months that happened, you know what? I shouldn't be shy about it. I shouldn't be hush hush about it.
Yeah.
This is something I earned. My wife and I earned.
Wow.
And who would have thought? Who would have thought? I've worked with so many people over the years, and they move on. They move on. And I know they wanted to come back then, but this is beyond blessing that I can tell you. Who would have thought?
Right.
A Filipino like me, who had no education, limited English skills and things like that. I have nothing but hard work and loyalty. You got two jobs.